What happened to zombies? We went from good zombies maps, from Origins, Buried, to Heisendrach, Mob of the Dead, to whatever the fuck this shit is, dude. Like, this is not memorable. When I think of zombies, when I think of fun, exciting, memorable zombie experience, I think of the Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 days. And it stops there. It ends there. You think of Cold War zombies. That was not memorable. That's how you know it wasn't a good zombies game. You know how you know it wasn't memorable? Because the only memorable part about it was the fact that it was mediocre and underwhelming. And it looks like Black Ops 6 is going to be following in the same footsteps as its predecessor, which is a shame because zombies as a game mode has so much potential to be such an exciting, engaging mode for years to come. It should be a staple in Call of Duty, and it should be a consistent one for that matter. But yet they find ways to just deviate from the core philosophy and fundamental blueprints that they've followed to create a successful, cohesive, and enjoyable zombies game mode. They've deviated that and transitioned into Warzone, Spec Ops, Left 4 Dead infusion of a game mode. And for those who don't know, COD recently held a Creators Line event called COD Next, and at this early gameplay event, they showcased some early footage of what we could expect for the upcoming new Zombies mode. Keyword, could. That is a reminder that this can all change by the time the game fully launches. So most of what I critique about could potentially be resolved by the time the game fully launches anyways. Feels like and it looks like they're trying too hard to innovate on something that's already found its identity early into its conception. I'm talking about the first time they introduced us to zombies, and that started with World at War and how it later became a staple within COD as a whole, finding its rhythm in the first of the many Black Ops games produced. Within that peak era of zombies, they clearly followed a fundamental blueprint they used to create a successful zombies experience, following a philosophy that clearly hasn't been used in what feels like decades. Zombies used to have a level of immersion that was unmatched to its competition at the time, that now feels like a tradition that is lost to time. The gameplay itself now arguably has too much unnecessary clutter to its UI and HUD that makes it feel too much like you're playing Warzone instead of zombies. Like, come on man, the game is zombies, not Warzone. The mode in itself should be fun, exciting, engaging, innovative in the right ways, and challenging without sacrificing the sense of easy accessibility for casuals to enjoy. Now just to simply say, it feels like Zombies did a fantastic job at housing and nourishing all kinds of communities and player types for its mode back in the day. Now it looks like they're just pandering strictly to Warzone players. It's sad, and it's a shame, especially if you're someone who enjoys zombies and enjoys the challenging aspects that they provided and all the fun Easter eggs and the storytelling and the themes and everything that just made up the zombies world from Black Ops 1, 2, 3. It was just peak zombies enjoyment, really. It doesn't get any better than that. And arguably, that is what peak zombies is. That is the identity of what zombies should be, and that should be the philosophy and blueprint that other zombie teams for their respective developers should follow. It doesn't make sense to me why they feel the need to innovate the things that don't need to be worked and innovated on. It just seems like they're trying too hard to be different and creative in the wrong ways. Think about it. Black Ops 1 innovated in the right ways without deviating from its core philosophy of what they wanted to execute for in regards to a zombies experience, and they innovated off from World at War, and you had Black Ops 1 zombies with classic maps from Kino to Shangri-La, you name it, with different DLCs and stories to follow, Easter eggs and lore that just was rich and full and deep and nuanced. Now we don't get that. Now you get what seems like they're catering to more of a Warzone audience rather than a classic zombie audience, and it just feels like a slap in the face for those who enjoy zombies, and it really is a shame. It really is. Zombies should be that guaranteed, enjoyable second game mode that Call of Duty can offer aside from its multiplayer and campaign. And to see them do zombies dirty like this over and over, it sucks. Granted, a lot of what they've showed at COD Next can easily be resolved and changed and tweaked and worked upon when the game launches and whatnot and the full game is out, but it doesn't look promising, to be blunt and to be straightforward. It simply just does not look promising. And with betas, usually the goal of the beta is to give you an understanding of what the game's going to be like when it launches, And what we've seen of the beta is most likely what we are going to get when the game launches, unfortunately. And I have my doubts that they're going to fix a lot of the things and issues that the COD Zombies community is pointing out. What they showcased at this event isn't peak zombies, really, if we're being honest with ourselves, and is a disgrace to the identity that older zombies used to represent. Having the ability to use and see your minimap takes away from the zombies immersion. Like, I shouldn't be able to see my fucking minimap in a zombies mode. Like, come on. Having the ability to use armor plates like it's Warzone? Again, feeling like it's fucking Warzone, that's not zombies. It isn't zombies. Straying away from the classic starting pistols you normally start with instead of the generic / unique starting pistols you used to have. Say with Origins you had the Mauser or the generic M1911 that you would use as your starting pistol. Instead of that, now we're just given really strong and good starting weapons to use right off the rip, like a shotgun or an assault rifle or a submachine gun, which is crazy to think about how we've gone from being challenged to use only a starting pistol to now having more of an easier start with assault rifles and shotguns off the rip. It just isn't zombies. Classic zombies, you start with a pistol, not a submachine gun or a shotgun or an assault rifle. I feel like that takes away from the challenging aspect of what it used to be. Crafting monkey bombs and buying score streaks devalues the journey you normally would take in order to try and get them. Instead of earning it through luck from the mystery box or engaging in an Easter egg of some sorts to obtain a powerful streak, you end up avoiding the fun and yet challenging journey you would take just to have an easier experience. Even the basic philosophy of having perks, they changed that to where you can have more than 4 base perks. Like, what? Having the ability to have more than 4 base perks makes the game less challenging. And listen, there's no problem with having lots of perks, but it should be something you work and grind for. Like, again, throwback to one of the greatest zombies maps, Origins. The fact that you were able to have more than 4 perks, but you had to like dig for those empty perk bottles was completely fine, and that idea in itself is, I think, very fair but challenging and rewarding in itself, because you didn't easily get it from the start of the game. You had to work for it, and they applied that not only to Black Ops 2 version, but also the Black Ops 3 version. But to have base perks being easily accessible in numbers right off the rip is arguably easy cheesy. They were able to use Origins twice in 2 separate titles, whilst innovating and revamping it to the newer title without sacrificing its core philosophy of what makes zombies zombie. It can't be that hard. Treyarch has a good track record and history of doing it. Granted, that was during the Blundell era, but come on, man, it's not like it's that hard to follow the basic principles that he's created, unless it really is and you're trying too hard to innovate, which again brings me back to that point. It feels like they're trying too hard to be creative and innovative for things they don't need to do so for whatsoever. BO6 Zombies overall just seems like a revamped sequel to the already arguably underwhelming Cold War Zombies experience. It's a shame too. Older zombies made you work for the high tier items. Older zombies made you gamble your currency for the potential of good items. I miss being able to hit the mystery box and gamble away my money to see if I'd get a monkey bomb. I feel like that's lost value. That used to be a valuable thing that you'd gain from the mystery box. Now it's something you can easily craft, and it's like, what? Come on, man. That's not zombies. And I'm gonna be saying that a lot. And I feel like it's true and warranted, because a lot of what they're trying to offer us isn't zombies. They're trying to sell to us that the idea that what they've created is zombies. It's not. It really, really isn't. Older zombies simply had the better framework for the best experience possible, and I don't understand why current zombie teams for their respective developers don't just do that. That is to follow the core philosophy and blueprint of past zombies and integrate them accordingly to their game. Black Ops 1 did it when they innovated from World at War. Black Ops 2 did it when they innovated from Black Ops 1, and the same for Black Ops 3 when they innovated from Black Ops 2. They innovated the things that mattered without sacrificing the core fundamentals that made for a successful zombie experience. Yet they spent 4 years just to give us what looks like a Warzone Left 4 Dead Spec Ops infusion of a game mode instead of a proper zombies game mode. They had 4 years to properly create and revise the concept and philosophy of their game. Note, it's also a fine line they have to balance in regards to innovating certain creative aspects without sacrificing the core philosophy of what peak zombie arguably is. And granted, knowing what that fine line is also somewhat subjective, and it's probably easier said than done, so I can acknowledge that, but it just feels like most of the problems that the zombies community are having with the recent zombie modes are fairly justified and isn't too completely skewed by subjective perspective. One person commented a really good point on Mr. Ralph Waffle's YouTube stream, of his stream that he was doing for COD Next, when he was watching Liberty Falls and all that good stuff. And basically the comment said, it was saying that they make zombies feel more military than fantasy, which is an amazing point in itself, and that in itself can be deconstructed and analyzed to great length as well. So shout out to that guy, because it's true. The state of the current zombies feels geared towards more of a military approach rather than a fantasy geared one, which is probably one of the key philosophies of older zombies to begin with, and that is to have room for fantasy. Well, anyways, with all that being said and done, I just want to thank anyone who stayed and listened to me yap for however long this ends up being. This is something I wanted to try, something new I wanted to dabble in, and decided on using YouTube as an outlet to voice some of my thoughts and perspectives and opinions on the various things that I enjoy in this world, starting with the zombies, and who knows, perhaps this can become daily content I end up doing. We'll see. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you guys take it easy.